The conspiracy theory has been proven true in, what is this, 5 days? It's like 5 days since they accused Russell Brand and started going after all of his financials, trying to get him banned from everything. And then you get NBC and a bunch of these outlets saying conspiracy theorists think that there's an agenda against Russell Brand. And then a few days later, UK Parliament sends letters to social media platforms demanding demonetization. What did it say? Demonization? Is that demonization?
It's spelling there.
Yeah, come on, post-millennial. I always make fun of him. Demonetization of Russell Brand. But I guess demonization works too.
It's similar.
Yeah. Demonization. Although it may be politically correct and socially easier for Rumble to join a cancel culture mob, doing so would be a violation of our company's values and mission. So we have this tweet from Mario Knopfel. This is the Culture, Media, and Sports Committee of the House of Commons, sent a letter to TikTok saying, while we recognize TikTok is not the creator of the content published by Mr. Brand, and his content may be within the community guidelines set up by the platforms, we are concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on the platforms. Holy what, dude? Confirmed conspiracy against Russell Brand. I'm just really excited for this. We have a very quick confirmation of a government conspiracy against Russell Brand. Wait, hold on. Here's the Rumble tweet. Because Rumble is awesome. They of course released this with a statement saying, today we received an extremely disturbing letter from a committee chair in the UK Parliament. While Rumble obviously deplores sexual assault, rape, and all serious crimes, and believes that both alleged victims and the accused are entitled to full and serious investigation, it is vital to note that the recent allegations against Russell Brand have nothing to do with content on Rumble's platform. Just yesterday, YouTube announced that based solely on these media accusations, it was barring Mr. Brand from monetizing his video content. Rumble stands for very different values. We have devoted ourselves to the vital cause of defending a free internet, meaning an internet where no one arbitrarily dictates which ideas can or cannot be heard, or which citizens may or may not be entitled to a platform. We regard it as deeply inappropriate and dangerous the UK Parliament would attempt to control who is allowed to speak on our platform or to earn a living from doing so. Singling out an individual and demanding his ban is even more disturbing, given the absence of any connection between the allegations and his content on Rumble. We don't agree with the behavior of many Rumble creators, but we refuse to penalize them for actions that have nothing to do with our platform. Although it may be politically and socially easier for Rumble to join a cancel culture mob, doing so would be a violation of our company's values and mission. We emphatically reject the UK Parliament's demands. And here we have this letter to Chris Pavlovsky, the CEO of Rumble, saying, I am writing concerning the serious allegations regarding Russell Brand in the context of his being a content producer on Rumble with more than 1.4 million followers. The Culture, Media, and Sports Committee is raising questions with the broadcasters and production companies who previously employed Mr. Brand to examine both the culture of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. That is to say, they have outright admitted the UK government is reaching out to other networks, asking them to remove Russell Brand and take away his income because he was accused. Allegations from a decade to 2 decades ago. This is amazing. They said, we are also looking at the use of social media, including on Rumble, where he issued his preemptive response to the accusations made against him by the Sunday Times and Channel 4 dispatches. While we recognize that Rumble is not the creator of the content published by Mr. Brand, we are concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on the platform. Think about what they're saying right here. The UK government is outright saying, if you commit any crime ever, you should not be allowed to live at all. What does Russell Brand do for a living? He's a personality. He's an actor. He communicates. He talks. They take his shows down. They try to take his podcast down. YouTube actually demonetizes his show. They're basically saying he should not be allowed to make a living anymore for any reason, even though he's never been convicted of a crime. Or I should say, I don't know if he's been convicted of any crime, but in this instance, he's only been accused.
Well, and he hasn't even been accused on a criminal level, right? It was just the article that came out. I mean, it's a pure...
There is an investigation.
Oh, is it what? Well, but because of the article, right? Right. So, and it seems like, especially with things like YouTube, it seems like that. I mean, we're in the age of the open conspiracy, essentially, at this point, where YouTube is sitting there going, man, we really wish we could kick Russell Brand off, but we can't just do it outright. If only somebody came out with an article, nudge, nudge, hint, hint. And so they're just working in this almost reciprocal way. And I mean, Rumble says we're fighting for free speech on the internet, that age is rapidly ending. We have the EU Digital Services Act. The UK Parliament just passed the the Online Safety Bill, which ironically, when it was in draft form, was presided over by the same woman that sent this letter, Caroline Dinenage, or whatever her name is. So yeah, it's coming to an end pretty rapidly, this whole free speech thing we've been enjoying so long.
Well, I mean, this is the UK. I think we are actually, we have to remain steadfast, but I think we're doing a really good job in the US as it pertains to the boycotts and the boycotts. The fact that Rumble exists shows that we have started to push back and we are gaining ground. Russell Brand, they can't take away his money because Rumble said no. Everyone else bends the knee, but I love the precedent set by YouTube. So what? Now all anyone has to do to terminate someone's account is just accuse them or have someone accuse them?
I mean, this is all awful, sufficiently horrifying for me to be like, all right, we need to completely isolate social media from governments. This is something that we've been aware of, or the Twitter files have shown that there are governments interested in accessing the power and influence that comes from social media. To think that, other governments aren't doing it with, just because the U.S. has been exposed and there's supposed to be efforts being undertaken to prevent it, doesn't mean that other countries aren't going to try to apply the same pressure. And it's for essentially the same things. They're looking to end the liberty to speak your mind and say things that are controversial. You've got that Jacinda, I forget what her last name is, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, specifically coming out and saying things that 15 years ago, if you said publicly, you'd have gotten excoriated for. You would have been thrown right into the bin with Stalin, Hitler, and all the other authoritarians, Pol Pot, whatever, all of them. And now it's looked at as something that people have become so numb to the efforts at limiting what you're allowed to say and what you can't say, that these kinds of behaviors from governments, only the alternative media seems to take issue with it. And it's a big problem. And obviously we're all pretty much here in agreement. And I'm thankful that Rumble did what they did. But this speaks to the attitude of governments. And it's not just the United States government. It's governments across the Western world.